16 after 7. Pusha Panda Play. It's a high-stakes game, but not just for jackpot hopefuls. The National Lottery has been embroiled in legal battles, contested license awards, and shifting deadlines. Yesterday, you would have heard the Trade and Industry Minister, Parkstow, granted the current operator, Ithuba Holdings, a 12-month extension to keep the lottery running, and that avoids the prospect of South Africa not having a lottery for the next year. It's a move that defies a Pretoria High Court ruling that found such an extension would be unconstitutional. But Tau is appealing and is citing another judgment supporting his authority to act in the public interest, he says. But whoever the operator may be, one of the questions we must answer is what happens to the monies they collect. We spoke to Professor Barney Pityana, the chairperson of the National Lotteries Commission, when he took office, and he promised to come in with a clean broom to sweep up the place. Has he succeeded? He joins us now on the line. A pleasure to have you back on the show. Thank you for your time this morning.
Good morning, Monks. I would have loved to be there to say all about it.
Listen, you came in with the promise, as I say in my introduction, of a new broom to clean up the National Lotteries Commission. Have you?
We've been at it. We've been at it. It's like painting the fourth bridge. You know, you paint all the way, then you have to start again, and then you go up to the end and then start again. That's how it has felt the 2+ years I have been at the National Lottery. We've worked very hard, actually, in the transformation. We've had to review the policies. We've got to make sure that the systems are right. We're modernizing. We appointed new staff, largely at the senior executive level. We've been in the nooks and crannies of this country, on the ground, visit people and projects. We've set up a new system of an inspectorate that actually physically visits all the applicants, because oftentimes it was found that non-existent projects were being funded. So we've done a lot, but you can't, whatever goodwill you may have, you still have to work with people. You still have to manage the consequences of wrongdoing by some people. And for that, we thank the SIU and the work they continue to do. We've had to get involved in disciplinary procedures for many staff today. As a result, the battle that we have not won as yet is to transform the minds of the staff of the NLC at a lower level, at the frontline level, let me put it like that, at the frontline level, to actually come to terms with the new texture of the organization that we seek to establish. And that's going to take time. It's going to take a change of mind, a change of heart, an understanding of what precisely we are about. We've tried our best, and we continue to do so. The answer is yes, we have a lot of transformation, and yes, transformation is not complete.
Some of what you are saying perhaps is nebulous in terms of being able to identify specifics, but people will most likely, Prof, look at the things that can be identified. For example, the Auditor General has not been flattering in the description of the National Lotteries Commission. You received a qualified audit opinion for year 23-24. The AG has cited systematic failures of governance, weak financial controls, and a lack of service delivery. How do you respond to that?
Oh, no, we did. We did that scope comprehensively. The truth of the matter, the AG has to do the AG's work. And the AG just looks at what they see in front of them. That's their job. And so we accept that, but we are actually, the AG itself acknowledges the improvements that have happened in the last 2 years, maybe 3 years. Now, here's the point. One, that there's been a lot of change of staff at the critical levels of the organization. Two, there's the staff who were appointed very, very qualified and competent. They've had to kind of learn the ropes as well. Three, there's internal resistance to some of the changes that are being made in the organizations. Therefore, compliance has been, we admit, a very difficult issue. But this year's report is likely to be different from last year's. Four, there was a problem for 2 years, I think, with the appointments of distributing agents. Distributing agents are very, very critical because distributing agents are the ones who actually distribute the funds that are received. And out of a possible 11 or so distributing, we had 2 or 3 for a good part of the 2 years. The reason being that the minister is the person who is charged with the responsibility of appointing distributing agents. And for a long time, Minister Patel was stuck with this appointment for reasons best known to him. And Minister Tau is in the process of finalizing the appointment at the moment. And those 3 distributing agents worked like slaves in the last year to try to keep up with the backlog.
Yeah. But how do you explain then that I think one of the things that came up at that Scopa hearing, that list of 4,000 delinquents who had contravened the application process but continued to receive grants. There was even a spreadsheet with all the names, but simply forgotten about and nobody was looking at it. That kind of thing still happening. In other words, grants allocated to unqualified applicants, some of whom don't even have supporting documents. That sort of thing still happens at the NLC.
Not at all, Bombs. You know, that is a report that Mrs. Mvulane, the chair of BAC, of the Audit and Risk Committee, was reporting what we found 3 years ago. That was what was happening. And the first year was spent in trying to retrieve data, information that was simply missing. Number 2 was to try to locate people because there were no IDs that were being referenced at the time. So as a result, people were double dipping or trick dipping without really recognizing that actually this person has already been. So the reference there is not to what is happening now, is rather a reference to what we found. In fact, that doesn't happen anymore. None of that is happening. And the systems are clean. There's a lot of vigilance. There's an inspectorate at the moment. No, that doesn't happen anymore, I can assure you.
The underspending on grants, nearly R1 billion.
I've just explained that. The underspending was largely because the distributing agents we had a shortage of distributing agents. Out of a possible 11, we had 3. Now, those are the people who distribute the grants, eh? So the example we have, for example, the distributing agents could only do 12 applications a day, and they are working full time. They work long hours, and so they couldn't do that. Secondly, the staff, the compliance issues with staff were not very, very well done. They were not very, very good. So we had a problem with some staff. We had to deal with them. At the same time, the competence to recognize compliance issues among staff were not a very primary issues because the culture of the organization wasn't that. Yeah. The culture of the organization was designed to steal and to thievery, was never designed in terms of offering first-class correct service all the time. So yes, these things were happening, but I can assure you, these days, they do not happen.
You spoke about consequence management. What has happened to the cases that involve the former Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Philemon Letwaba, and the former board chair, Professor Nevuthanda? Where are those matters?
both of those are easy to deal with because both, number one, Nebutanda's tenure at the NLC was terminated by the minister. Ithuba resigned when he was facing disciplinary action, and he left. And then, of course, the matters are with SIU. You know, of course, that Professor Nebutanda is taking the president of this country to court, saying that the proclamation that he signed for the SIU to investigate what he was doing at the NLC, he had the SIU has no authority to do so, because the NLC, according to him, is not an agent of state. And that's a matter that is before the courts as I speak. Of course, that's nonsense, isn't it? But why is he doing that? He's doing that in order to protect the assets that he stole from the NLC. He's still hoping a last gasp that he can hold on to them. And the proclamation has actually frozen his assets. And the idea is to challenge the proclamation and as well as the engagements that the assets forfeiture unit and the recovery of the assets is underway at the moment. So now they've been stopped by this case because he's gone to the High Court to challenge the
proclamation.
The proclamation that was given by the president.
I suppose, Prof, if I may come in, what I'm really asking is, are you satisfied with what the National Prosecuting Authority has done in terms of criminal cases for those who allegedly stole from the NLC?
The answer is no. It's a matter of great frustration amongst from us about why is it that 3 years later, since the SIU has been filing report upon report. It's a frustration of the SIU, by the way, because they file reports straight to the NPA, and the NPA has, by all means, either no agency or no means to actually prosecute these cases. And we've been offering the NPA that we are prepared to even put money so that the NPA is equipped with whatever it needs to prosecute the cases properly. But the SIU has no prosecutorial powers, eh?
Yes.
It's the NPA that has prosecutorial powers. And it's not until the NPA sets up a unit that can actually rigorously pursue these matters professionally and bring these matters to court. Not many of the people who were involved in this, I can think of one, for example, have been prosecuted.
Gosh, you've previously said elsewhere that your work is like changing the tires of a plane mid-flight. Appreciate your time, Professor Barney Pityana, Chairperson of the National Lotteries Commission.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.